Chinese spies. Here he's talking.
It has been an honor to stand up and fight for you and our nation.
See that check mark?
We will be standing strong on
Jennifer
January
Lynn?
6th in D.C. with you. We are bringing the cavalry, Mr. President. We are bringing the cavalry.
That's what
was the consistent message.
That's what he used to say at the.
First of all, this is a very tiny point. There are many points that were made during the hearing, but Steven Crowder is choosing to focus on this particular point and make it seem like it's a major deal. Here's the effect. Comment with 63 likes. Imagine trying to impeach president because of what someone tweeted at him. So you can interpret whatever you think he's saying and what he's doing. But with communication, what's important is what you communicate, is how people perceive what you're saying. If you tell your wife you love her, but it comes across as you hate her because of the way you say it, then you've failed.
Massage part. Like,
He always come in, he tell us he bringing the cavalry.
The use of so many jokes can be used as a cloak. So when he lies and manipulates, oh, we were just joking. Right.
That's his dick every time. Every time.
So did they write it on horses?
So here's the thing. See, did you see that image? It had Donald Trump with the Twitter, and then that was a fake doctored check mark.
What?
Of Jennifer Lynn. Yeah. She's never been. She actually came out and she said she's never been Twitter verified. So the reason they added that was because, again, all of their sources are illegitimate. Not all, but most of their sources are illegitimate. I don't want to.
How would he know? First of all, he's making the accusation that they added it. That is his theory. He can't possibly know whether it was added or not, or who added it, let alone why it was added. He's not a mind reader.
In absolutism like they do, but there are no repercussions for them. There are for me, even though I'm a comedy host. That check mark, in order to try and provide gravitas, like, look, it's from a verified Twitter follower. And she says, no, I've never been verified. So that is doctoring evidence. And this is the problem with an impeachment of a private citizen, right? And you also have, you don't have Justice Roberts, you have Patrick Leahy, who we've talked about this. Right. He is a witness, a juror, and the judge in this case. In a criminal trial, which is why they didn't want to bring criminal charges. Guess what? You doctor evidence, you're going to have some problems. You're going to be held accountable. That is a doctored picture confirmed by the woman whose account was doctored.
So he completely suppresses the trial. He didn't cover the trial. He hasn't really been showing full segments of the trial. Let's say the impeachment manager is doing a 20-minute presentation. CNN, which is a horrible network, have done that. He hasn't done it. He has done 95% of the talking on his channel about the trial. He's hiding and blocking the facts of the matter from his audience. He's grabbing it and framing it and taking little pieces. And the whole goal is to protect Trump, not to allow his audience to decide.
Herself.
I think they should be bringing this kind of stuff up too, right? I don't know if the guys who are representing Trump are going to bring that kind of stuff up, but going back to what he said, he's saying, look, literally, they're going to bring the cavalry, right? That sounds like militaristic. Did they ride in on horses? Did the cavalry actually show up?
Right.
Did they come?
So this is the problem when there's so much joking around. Is this supposed to be a joke? It's a common thing for people to say, we're bringing the cavalry, and not mean it literally. The idea is figuratively, you're bringing the troops, not the literal troops. So the whole comment about horses and all this kind of stuff, what?
What is that, tanks and
like
stuff?
Pretending we don't have sayings.
No.
There's no
exactly.
Metaphor.
We're going to be there to support you and make our voices heard peacefully and patriotically. That's bringing the cavalry, guys.
I had someone try to do that to me once who will remain.
How are your voices going to be heard peacefully? On the 6th, they were certifying the election indoors in a building where there's no windows where they are. They wouldn't hear nor see them. So their voices could not be heard on the 6th unless they were going to do an insurrection. The only way for the voices to be heard in a meaningful way, because again, they're there specifically on that date. They went to the Capitol specifically at the time at which they were certifying, right? Because they wanted to stop the steal. That's what they called it. The only way to stop the steal on the 6th would be an insurrection. If it was something where they could be heard from inside the building, then maybe that's putting pressure on them and they could change their minds or something. I mean, that wouldn't happen, but at least you could see that as an idea. But knowing you're not going to be seen or heard, how on earth can you stop the steal by being peaceful? That makes no sense.
Big tech companies.
Yeah.
One of the videos I said, "Fill your hands, you son of a bitch." It's a line from True Grit.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, we took that as a threat of violence." What do you think I was going to throw you in a snake pit under the moonlight? You idiot.
This guy is really good at what he does. People like to feel like they're part of the smart group, the cool group, the in group. So by him mocking others and, "No, you idiot," people watching, there's this sort of echo chamber, this circle jerk of them feeling like they're the smarter ones, unlike those idiot liberals. People eat that stuff up, and it has made Crowder very rich. But let's look at the facts. So we go to Wayback Machine to see the history. The tweet was from the 3rd. Let's take a look and see what we have there. So this is her account. So I don't see that she was verified. So I do not know where that verified check came from. That is, in fact, suspicious and warrants an investigation and answers. I think Mr. Swalwell by now should be aware of this. And if he hasn't answered on his Twitter by now, problematic. I don't think any liberal media channel are going to be investigating this. You're not going to see this on the Young Turks or David Pakman or Brian Tyler Cohen. So she believes January 6th is going to be the most important event in history. Why would January 6th be the most important event in history? If they were just going to go there and march peacefully, how does that make it the most important event in history? So you go to a building and you stand outside with your sign saying "Stop the Steal," just like any other rally, and you go home? Right. The only way it would be the most important event in history is if they actually stop the steal, which requires an insurrection. So here's her tweet. So this is an actual tweet. She did tweet this. But again, I don't see the verified check. Now, not all images are stored in the archive. Many are. So it's not 100% type thing. I see this is missing right here. So that's another blue heart that didn't load for some reason. But I'm going to go with she wasn't verified. Because the only other explanation is it's a random glitch that just so happened. That doesn't make any sense. So I want answers on where that check came from. And it's pretty sad that almost no left-leaning channel is going to investigate that. But they will talk about the Calvary comment. So they'll ignore something. The left will ignore something that could make the left look bad. But they'll jump on something that could make the right look bad. So the Calvary thing is a good thing to go after. The checkmark thing is dangerous for a partisan. I'm not a partisan, so I have no problem in bringing it up. So she says that they're showing up to defend their way of life. How can you defend your way of life by just standing around peacefully? I swear, for people that keep talking about communism, the way that they adore Trump is like Kim Jong-un or one of those communist countries. I mean, he is a public servant. He works for us. That's how things work in a democratic republic. Not some superstar or someone to be worshipped. Our great president. Here's the tweet. Incognito. Bring the T-H cavalry. Let's try with C. Cavalry. So this is obviously relevant to her tweet. Go to Google Trends. Not much coming up. Do a Google search. Let's go beyond this. So we get out of the story. Let's do the 6th and before, going back 1 year. So we hardly get any results at all. A single page, because no one says that. If we look at what we do find, they're clearly misspellings of cavalry. Here someone says Calvary, and the context is one last assault. Cyborg something, so it's military. So clearly that's a typo. So this is referring to a type of organ or instrument. This is referring to football, so that's a typo. But that means, football, right? Bring in the troops. Police shooting, talking about bringing the cavalry. Typo, clearly. This is the name of a church. This is a survival thing, pandemic, survival kit. Now let's change it to cavalry. Now we get tons of hits, tons of pages. Definition. If she really meant Calvary, then she's saying they're bringing the open-air representation of a crucifixion of Jesus. Right. Or she's bringing an experience of usually intense mental suffering. I don't think you can bring an experience. I don't think she can bring a place outside ancient Jerusalem where Jesus was crucified. That's how ridiculous these people are. They're saying something that's obviously, we know that it's a typo, and she meant cavalry in terms of troops. but obviously not literally. Don't be stupid. And now listen to this.
The cavalry.
Said the cavalry is coming, Mr. President, and he was certainly pleased to see that.
You can't get anywhere with just a leader or just a party or just a court ruling, because they don't play by the rules. The rules are just for us. We are the cavalry.
By the time you call the cavalry, not Calvary, but cavalry.
Not to mention he would have gotten an FBI and Secret Service briefing about the intelligence that they had about the intention to attack the Capitol. This is no secret. I don't have any secret clearance, and I knew that this is what they were planning on doing. So certainly the FBI and Secret Service knew, especially since Trump was going to be outside, so he would have definitely briefed them. They would have briefed him because that's a risk to him. Now, obviously, we wouldn't expect a Trump supporter to attack Trump, but you wouldn't want Trump to be outside during a day where there's a high possibility of violence, regardless of who's planning the violence. Additionally, February 6, Mike Pompeo. Happy birthday to my Commander-in-Chief, cavalry soldier. Here's the bottom line. I wear this shirt like a jacket almost every single day, and it kind of makes me look like a lumberjack. I also need to shave. But as far as this video, click on the like button, by the way, subscribe, smash that bell. As far as this video, well, a couple things. Based on my investigation, there definitely seems to be something shady with that verified logo that was, looks like it was added to the tweet. I mean, all the evidence is suggesting that it's been added. I don't know why it was added, but I can't really come up with a good reason why it was added. So here's where that leaves me. I want answers. I want to know who added that and why. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to get those answers because the people who could put the pressure to make us get answers are partisans, just like the Republicans are. The people on the left focus mainly on attacking the right. So we're not really going to see a lot of interest in like, what's up with this verified logo, whatever, right? And understand that it's meant to be a distraction. But the trial is over, right? There's no excuses for that anymore, right? It's not an effective distraction for the trial. The trial's over. So now let's get some answers and find out who let the dogs, who added that logo to that tweet. I don't expect anyone to be pushing for that. I don't expect to see it on CNN, MSNBC, the Young Turks, David Pakman. All these folks, they'll tell you everything about the Republicans and Donald Trump, but only sometimes they'll tell you about what's happening on the left. It does happen, depending on which channels. We had MSNBC expose Joe Biden with Tara Reid. We had CNN expose Pelosi with her games. We have CNN just exposed Governor Cuomo, and we're going to talk about that. So they do that once in a while, but generally speaking, they're focused on attacking the people from the other political party. And when I say other political party, CNN, MSNBC, they act as the sort of media arm of the Democratic Party because it's profitable, not because of politics, in my view. So there's not really interest in this. And then the independent YouTubers, same thing. They're really like activists. They're trying to promote progressive ideas, liberal ideas, whatever it is, pretending like they're being objective and they're journalists and all this kind of stuff. But they're very, very partisan. So you're not going to see a lot of interest. Just look, see if anyone else makes a talk about focuses on this at all. You will see it on the right, because they're doing the same thing the left is doing, right? It's all about attacking the other side. This is great material. Look, it's fake. And they can use it to manipulate their audience into thinking that the tweet was fake. We confirmed the tweet was legit. It's just the logo, right? The logo has nothing to do with the substance of the tweet. But the right will use the logo to make people just think, oh, it's a fake tweet, without actually even saying that. And that's a critical thing. People have to understand the manipulation tricks that are going on. So I expect the right to be talking about it, the left to ignore it, and then ultimately the end result is we'll probably never know what happened there. So there you have it. This is the Debate Me channel. You enjoy my nonpartisan take. Click on that like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well. Who put that verified logo on there? Like, that was pretty bad.